Welcome to Mental Fitness, the Gateway to Success podcast, providing business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs with the 3 INs: insights, inspirations, and intentional actions. Delivered through monologues and dialogues, we address topics like leadership, productivity, time management, work-life balance, and challenges like stress, conflict, mental health, and much more. Please do not hold back from suggesting specific topics and guests you would like on this podcast. Greetings and welcome to this episode of Mental Fitness, the Gateway to Success. And yes, this is one of those weeks where I have a guest on. And from memory, I think this is the first time I have a guest from Australia. So let us welcome Saw from Australia and give her a chance to tell us a bit about herself.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me here, Mikal. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Yeah, my name is Saw. Yes. I live in Sydney, Australia. I come from a third world country called Myanmar when I was 17 with my parents. They passed now. So I live with my family, my husband and my 2 children in Sydney, south part of Sydney. My story, I just let you know my story briefly. When I was young, I can't remember the age, when I was under 10, I lived back in Myanmar. I had my parents and my late dad who government head position. He was a chartered accountant. He had a government head position, one of the government department organization. So government give him a colonial house with 10 room, 10 service quarter, acreage property as long as he hold the position. So big home, so like 10 of my mom's relative come and live with us. So big home, big family, and everybody see me as me following my auntie, my mom, younger sister, single lady. She also come and live with us. But what actually was happening to me is I was put in a situation that I don't know how I got there. I follow her everywhere. But the thing what made me suffer is she made me to do her chore, right? All this little chore, wash her clothes, do admin, like write things for her. I remember other little thing like her chore, like pass thing to her, stay with her. But I don't know how I got there. I don't know how I get out of it. But I always wanted to get out of this situation. But I was under 10. I was like that for a few years. I don't know how tell my parents. So when I was after a few years, we moved to different home. My dad no longer hold the position, so we moved to another home. My dad, I think, actually come here. He come before us, a few years before us. So we live in separate home then with that auntie. So that's how I got released, kind of. So I still look after her, send her money to support her every month for more than 20 years now. But I am too scared to sponsor her here. I actually end up sponsoring because my mother needed carer when she was alive, but then we end up changing to another person. So I made that change. I asked my parents to make that change. But how that was my challenge. How I recover is when I was around 20, I started helping people that come to me who need help. So I help part-time by giving my time, my skill, my money, my connection, what I can. I don't know them, they don't know me, but they come to me. So mostly people from my background. So So myself converting from a victim to helper, that kind of fix a bit. And I do that being there for other part-time since I was 20 up until now. That helped me. But when I was 30, I became religious. I'm Buddhist. And Buddhism helped me more. Yeah. I'm still a human. I'm still recovering, but in a positive way that make me uh able to relate to a lot of other people. So I'm quite successful in business. You know, because of that, I wanted to do my own business. So, when you do business and you are successful there, you make more money than you are employee, right? Exactly. Whatever we feel good or bad, the thing that our feeling based on already gone. So we feeling side effect. So if something good happen, good food, good sex, good drugs, good drink, we feeling good about all those gone already, right?
Mm.
Bad things. Somebody leave you, somebody died, you know, already bad happened. Cyclone, fire, flood, war, nothing we can do to change it. We just feeling side effect. But we got to realize that it is a side effect, memory, imagination. Things are no longer here. Bad thing, what my auntie did to me, it's already past. I can't do nothing now to change it. But that taught me. So I got to move on. I got to live with my life. Good thing happen, good food, good sex, good drink, already gone. Until I do it again, it's gone. I'm feeling side effect, right? So I got to get over it. I have to move on with my life. That's how I can handle a lot of things. When I run my business, I do mortgage broking, I do property flip development. I I work with other people. I what do you call I leverage their skill, their money, their time. That's how I release my stress.
Mhm.
So I don't have much stress because I work with other people. I leverage them. Of course, I still have to make decisions. I still have to manage them. I am fair. Like I pay them what they deserve. So they're happy to work with me. Of
Mm.
course, people let you down. There's only a few good people everywhere. But knowing about people because I've been there, done that. It's okay. I'm not very successful businesswoman, but I'm okay.
Mm.
And I'm happy with what I am. So it's
Mm.
okay.
Wonderful. I love that story and how you kind of told your whole life story in a way, in such a short time, and bringing this back into my topic of mental fitness. Now, often when we are like you were there at 10, 11, 12 in that situation that you didn't appreciate at all at the time, when we are at that age, for most of us, we haven't yet developed the mental fitness to meet those situations in a more positive way or without the stress. Because you would have
Eh,
experienced some levels of stress in that, the stress being that tension, I don't want to do this. Why do I have to do this? Why is he telling me what to do? And then
Yeah.
moving forward in your story, where
I
you,
was actually under 10. So I was had a bad feeling, but I don't know how to get up. I was a child.
yeah.
That's I
Mm.
think how people say be careful how you treat a child.
Yes, absolutely. And again, because a child often have not yet built the mental fitness, unless they grew up with parents that were extremely mentally fit and taught them that in the way that they were acting and being as human beings. But most of us were not brought up with parents like that. And then when you got into that job situation, and then that kind of feeling came back, I'm being told what to do, and auntie came back in your mind, then that stress that's been stored inside your mind was reactivated. But then in that, you being able to, in part, by using your experience with the Buddhist way of releasing that tension, but also just quitting that situation and creating your own situation that was more conducive to the with, well, I'm just going to run my own business. Then still, there were going to some people telling me what to do, like the Inland Revenue, the tax department going to tell me what to do and rules and regulations. But other than that, I'm my own boss, and then you're bringing in people that are fitting into your mentality that can then do work for you and be paid properly, not because I doubt you were probably not paid when you were 10 to do the work your auntie gave you.
Yeah.
So what a wonderful story, and I really love the way Saw that you're putting with the use. I think you used the word side effect. So you have a positive experience, but what you are enjoying is the side effect because the actual cause of that positive feeling is gone. And the same with the negative, it's gone. So we like to linger on with things that feel good, nothing wrong with that. But our mind sometimes like to linger on to the things we don't like. Like it wants to keep justifying feeling bad. So what are your thoughts on that?
It lasts even longer. Yes. But how I've been taught, it's easier to get rid of bad feeling than a good feeling. So if you want to become better and better, you have to you have to go, how do I say it? You have to have less attachment, right?
Yes.
So the first stage is you become less attached to the bad thing happen to you. The second stage is less attached to the good thing happen to you. So for us human beings, it's hard to get less attached from harder to get less attached from the good thing rather than even the bad thing. That's what Buddha say. Okay, so we we still linger, because we are human. It's okay. We're not saying all the sudden, there's a long way. We are still human. It's okay to linger, but I reckon uh if you if you aware or like if you're able to face the facts, we can't not for 24 hours, but whenever you can face the fact, focus on yourself rather than focusing on the environment, then you come to realize that what we're lingering on is not reality. So we
Mm.
slowly let it go. So
Yeah.
that's why my what do you call it? My filter, you got to be open-minded and realistic. If you know, it's hard. And
Mm.
it's okay. We're just human.
Hmm. Yeah. And you touched in on something there I think is really important. Self-care is that it's not selfish to look after ourselves. Where I think a
Yes,
lot of us have actually been brought up with don't be selfish, don't just think about yourself. And taking care of yourself is not about just thinking about yourself. It's actually taking care of you. Like the way I like putting it is that you can't give people chocolate if you don't have chocolate to give them.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if you are not happy, how do you give happiness? If you're not in touch with love yourself, how can you give love to others? So, for me, we must look after ourselves
yes,
so
yeah,
that we can serve other people better.
yeah. Good. Yeah. I think us feeling bad, feeling let down, because when we feel that, we think because the worst thing happened to us, we got no way out, you know. Then I also sometimes think that I'm still human, but I also think that, I don't live in third world country anymore. I still have good eye, good ear, you know, what do you call good taste. I'm still living,
Mm.
you know. I think the most precious thing we have is our life. It's
Mm,
the same to anyone, you billionaire or you on the street, okay?
mm,
So whatever happened to you, I still have my most precious thing, my life. And my life could go any moment, you know? So
mm,
while we still have that, we still have the most precious thing, we have to appreciate it because it could go any moment.
mm,
And life is life to everybody, you know. Billionaires don't want to lose their life. And so is that. And
mm,
you still have it. Appreciate it. It could go any moment.
mm, mm. Love that. It reminds me of my time. You mentioned a couple of times you come from a third world country, and I decided when I was in my early 30s to actually go and travel for up to 3 years in the third world country. I ended up doing 2.5 years and a year and a bit in Africa, traveling to 30 countries in Africa. And I had never, up until that time, and never up until now, having been to nearly 60 countries, I have never been to anywhere in the world where I have seen more happy people than in Africa. Not all of Africa, but in three particular countries in Africa. And that really blew my mind and really changed my mindset is that nothing wrong with making money or making lots of money. But I have seen more happiness with people who don't have anything or any money. So I knew that intellectually, but to actually experience it in my life, that that happiness doesn't require that. Again, it's not that we shouldn't have it, but it doesn't require that was a really powerful learning for me.
Yeah. Whether you content with what you have, that's it, you know.
Mm,
You know, if you when you no longer happy with what you have, nothing is ever enough, you know.
mm, mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Another term you used a little while ago was still recovering. And and again, I love that. I love that honesty and that reality because so am I. I mean, I've been on this journey for 40 years consciously, and I'm still recovering. And
But
I
we
believe I'm.
still human. We're not saint, you know.
Mm. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Because we are still human, we're not saint.
Yes, yes. We might like to be, but we're not. So.
Yeah,
So keep learning, keep growing. And again, tying that back to mental fitness is what allows me to keep doing that over the years is I've grown my mental fitness more and more so I can go deeper and deeper within myself. And then coming to the place of like yourself, of making it a real passion to help other people. So
yeah,
the term you used was going from victim to helper,
yeah.
which is a beautiful way of saying it. And isn't it great that we can take something that hurt or something that we were not happy with in our life and use that as a springboard toward helping other people? Because I think I would much rather be helped by somebody who have been through struggles and can relate to what the struggles I'm experiencing rather than somebody who has never had any struggles in their life and just success, success, success. So it allows us to relate more to people. Would you say that yourself?
Yes, yes, yes. We have to be there to understand, you know.
Mm,
So, and what the expert say, you need a right experience. It's also true in life. You know, if you never had that experience, you don't understand.
mm, mm. So I know that in this process, I don't think you mentioned it today, but I would like for you just to speak into that a little bit, is that you have started a charity yourself as a part of your way of helping and supporting others. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I've been there for others since I was 20 years old, part-time. But like with what they need, their emotional need, yeah, and some money, etc., other support. But then I feel that all of us, including me, we never had enough. So this is kind of my way of mental fitness. I want to teach other. So they can help themselves, you know.
Mm.
So that's all about, that's our ultimate goal, for us to have enough mentally,
Mm.
you know. So, and we all are not there yet. Otherwise, we are safe, okay? But I want to help us get there, you know, in a way that we could, you know. And I don't think my solution is the only solution. There are many ways, there are many solutions to help one problem, but not everyone fit into one box, okay?
Mm.
So some people might resonate my way, other people resonate with your way, you know, as that some people like psychiatric treatment. So I just want to promote my way of trying to help others.
Mm.
And this is a Buddha way backed by science. And I'm trying to promote through this charity I set up a few months ago. So when you set up something legal structure, you become serious. You know?
Mm.
Since then, I started talking on podcasts. You know, you guys, because you guys seem to have the right audience. You know,
Mm.
I did on social media before, but social media is, even I try to market to the right audience, I don't get there. People see me as a woman rather than sex symbol, rather than what I'm trying to promote. Okay.
Mm.
But because you guys seem to have the right audience, I love podcasting.
Dang it. And again, it's looking for how to make things work, and for you create some success within your business, but then as a charity, how to make that work. In order to do that, you then have to say, in your case, you decided that podcast is a way, and that in itself takes mental fitness to step out and do that which is needed to get the results that you want. So it seems that, again, for me, the mental fitness just keeps coming back into whenever we create success, and definitely helping other people. So would love to hear, you have in part mentioned it, but not directly. What are some ways that you have grown your mental fitness in your life? Either that it happened because of some hardship and it made you stronger, or something you specifically did, whether it was meditation or reading a book, or, how are some ways that you have grown your mental fitness in your life?
Uh, yeah, it started with the bad mental experience I had with my auntie.
Hmm.
And throughout my life, I think people tell you, and I believe, like, you know, when you have bad experience with someone, you always end up with that kind of person. Like, I haven't been lucky with people I met around, yeah, my life. I don't know, maybe. Um, so, you know, but I learn, I try to survive. So, and, helping others kind of help me along the way. And it's Buddhism helping slowly. Yeah. But it's been so many years, so now I thought I learned enough that I just want to help others with what I learned.
Hmm.
I think mental fitness is what I think you also believe it what matters most to us rather than all the materialistic stuff that we want.
Hmm.
Because it's all in our mind, right? If this mind is healthy, then there's no limit to us. You know?
Yeah, and it has come up several times today about helping others, and that's what I do as well. And when I work with my clients, and ask what are the something you really want to be doing with your life if you didn't have to go to work, for example, what would you do? And in almost every case, it comes up the same thing. I just want to help other people. So I think it's something that is really deeply embedded in our very being of being a human being,
Yeah,
simply because
yeah,
it feels good, doesn't it?
yeah. It feels good. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And no money can replace that.
Yeah.
You have to do that to understand that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I heard 1 in 5 of us, 20% of us love doing that.
Hmm.
Yeah. We don't have to be billionaire, we don't have to be rich or, you know, to help other. But I believe we have to be mentally strong if you want to help other. So there's a
Absolutely.
lot of sacrifices, right?
Yes,
You
absolutely. I
make
wanted,
make you feel good better than money, but
yeah,
you
yes.
also have to be there, understand. You also need experience, you know, the mental aspect of the yeah.
Yeah. So, coming back to my experience again, when talking to people who want to help and that, and then I will often ask, so why haven't you done that already? And in that, it turns out that for many people, and it was so for me as well, is that, oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't have enough value to add, or I need to learn some more before I can help. And so it's like a part of our minds are resisting that helping because we don't believe enough in ourselves. And I certainly had to break through when I started doing this. My first course I did in front of a group of people was actually firewalking, and I was shaking. I was absolutely shaking with nerves when I went into this room with people, and I'm gonna help these people to walk across red glowing coals without burning their feet. You gotta be kidding me. So that was extremely hard for me to do that. But at that moment, it's not that I had a lot of mental fitness, but I had a very strong belief in needing to help and wanting to help others. So that allowed me to step into that discomfort. And then, having done that now for over 30 years, I still get nerves going on stage. But, I can move through that much quicker because I have the mental fitness to do that.
Yes, yes, yes. The best thing I think could do, and a lot of psychiatrists do, etc., is listen to their problem, right? Even when I started doing mortgage broking, when you started, nobody think they know everything, right? I don't know everything either. So all I have is wanting to help, and I trust my judgment. I'm kind of educated, etc. So I trust myself. I don't wishy-washy, like, I tell the fact. So I just listen to them. They tell you their story, and then you just try to help step by step. You ask one question, they tell you one problem, you try to solve that, ask another, like I put them into small pieces. So anything we think too big, we can't solve. But if we think they small enough,
Mm,
it's all in our mind, right? We think we can, like, you
mm.
know.
Yes, it's definitely in our mind. It's a powerful thing, that mind, in both ways, both holding us back and moving us forward. And again, for me, the more we grow our mental fitness, the more we are able to move more forward rather than getting caught up in our own doubts and our own worries. So to finish today, yeah, are there any, like, what would your suggestion be to our audience today, in how they could grow their mental fitness? Any ideas, any a book, any method, and any contribution you can give to our audience?
Okay. um what I just basically take it easy, the thing meant to happen. you know we have a lot of capability that we're not using, you know so there's no limit to us. We all the same under the skin.
Mm,
Like whatever you want to happen, it'll happen. You just stick to it. Nobody can hurt us. We only ourselves can only hurt us. Don't hurt yourself. you know and all of us have the most precious thing is our life, is the life itself. We all have the same. Our Us being alive is the most precious asset we all have. And while it stays there, live your life, because it could go any moment.
mm, mm. Beautifully, beautifully said. Uh, Two amazing things you just shared there. Um, the only person really that can hurt ourselves is ourselves. Other people can do things to us, but we are the ones who, if we are mentally fit enough, can choose whether we want to be hurt by that or not. And in general, we don't want to be hurt, so we can just choose not to be hurt and just, okay, so that is somebody else's action or somebody else's opinion, and we can listen to that. If there's something we can learn from it, we can do that. But going and feeling hurt is a pain that we are adding on that we don't need to add on. And I love you, like when you said that with a big smile on your face, take it easy. Because we are so conditioned. If we don't run fast enough, we are not going to win the race. And if you're doing a running race, yes, you have to run fast enough if you want to win the race. But in life, you don't actually have to run that fast. It's more important how you're running and where you're running and what you're doing in that journey. And so you're doing on one side a financial brokering business, and on the other side helping other people the Buddhist way, which for some people are going to go, how can you marry those two? But to me, understanding the Buddhist way from my own experience, there's absolutely no conflict there at all between the two. Is that right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, be there for yourself, you know. You still have your most precious assets, your life. Appreciate it, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Saul, for coming on and
Thank
sharing your
you too,
story
Mikal.
and
Nice talk.
for sharing your wisdom. And to our audience, thank you for joining in today. And as always, look out for ways that you can grow your mental fitness in a conscious way. Till next time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Mental Fitness, the Gateway to Success. If you have stories of how mental fitness has benefited you that you are happy to share, go to my website, mikal.nz, click on podcast and fill in the guest application form. If you want direct support from me utilizing my 40 years of mental fitness learning and practice, email me at coach@mikal.nz or message me on LinkedIn. Any feedback, review, share, follow, like, or any other good stuff is, of course, appreciated. Thank you for listening to Mental Fitness, the Gateway to Success podcast. I'm your host, Mikal Nielsen.